You want to be able to talk about how you were going to quit and then you got fired.
This industry, this career has been phenomenal to me.
I was running 10 restaurants. I don't want to go back and do this anymore. We're going to tell you why two best friends quit our jobs in the restaurant industry to get into real estate without all the BS.
I can turn the heat on. There you go, Yoshi.
Nathan.
Got my feet sweaters out.
Get that out of here.
Sweaters out. He likes the bare feet down, doesn't he?
It's Cousin Eddie. That's what Michael said, Cousin Eddie, man.
What you think? Is this him?
Cousin Eddie, man.
So weird. All right, are we kicking an intro or what?
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to something special today. What's special? Well, in this episode of Around Town, Yoshi and I are going to do something unique. We're going to interview a couple local realtors, and it's going to be a little bit different this time. Why? A little more podcast style, because those two awesome realtors that we're going to interview and have a conversation with just actually happen to be us. It's going to be me and Yoshi talking about me and Yoshi. So hopefully you'll be as entertained as I already am, and I haven't even asked a question yet. So
I can't wait.
Yeah, you listen, it's already been interesting. There's stuff that we can't put out there already. Because yes, we do have this channel, if you would, right, Yoshi, Around Town, that is a separate thing that we do. And people were asking, well, what else do you do? Well, we're realtors at this place called Real of Ohio for the Gibson Group on his hat. Beyond the media thing, we do real estate here in Plain City, Jerome Township, Marysville.
All over.
Interesting fact, we worked together before this in the restaurant world, and I got out first because I was smarter than him, still seem to be. And then Yoshi came along and did that. Also best friends. He finally also listened and is a neighbor now. Hell, his son is named after my wife and I's son who passed. So this runs deep. We're tied pretty tight. I guess the only person missing is my wife, because she does transaction coordination for us and a lot of other agents. So Yoshi, we want to take this today. What do we want to talk about? I mean, real estate's kind of boring.
Yeah,
so I'm going to try to spice it up. Yeah, I said it, folks. Real estate's boring. And I'm sure that you've got some friend that's a realtor that they make look all exciting and they're holding up blue tape or talking about just sold or just listed. Listen, it's all they probably aren't doing a lot of business, to be honest. They're going to make you think that. I don't know if I can say that. That's not an ethics violation.
No, it's not.
Good. Okay. All right, cool.
It's
So what are we talking about?
Why don't we start with how we met? You mentioned we were in the restaurant industry.
Yes, we were.
So we were both working for a large restaurant company we won't name.
No.
Right?
A lot of people have been.
No, you can't name it.
Oh, well.
You can't name
I
it.
didn't name it. Okay, so back to us meeting. I'm going to Chicago. I was told by a training person that you'll be working with Yoshi. Let's just go ahead and put it out there, because all y'all would do it. I was looking for an Asian dude. I told the front desk, let me know when Yoshi gets here. Cue Yoshi.
Yeah, so I show up, we're working for the same company, and they say, do you know anybody here? And I'm like, no, I don't know anybody. And they said, there's this guy, he's been looking for you the whole time. And I'm thinking, do I owe somebody money or what's going on? I don't know what's going on. Yeah, there's this guy, he's looking for you. I'm so confused of what's going on. And then down you come, and he taps me on the shoulder and says, hey, are you Yoshi? And I said, yeah. And he goes, awesome, I'm Nate, we're gonna work together. Drop it off, we're going to the bar. You remember that?
I do.
That's exactly how it happened.
We went to the bar.
And I did just that. I put my stuff upstairs and we went to the bar, and we've been hanging out for 12 years now.
Now we're neighbors, business partners. And
Yeah. So let's talk about that. So the restaurant thing, I stayed for a long time.
he stayed for a long time. I got to a point that whatever filter I had back then had gone, or at least was working its way out.
Yeah.
And so I was quitting, and I got fired on the same day I was quitting. It actually worked out really well. I was going to get into real estate. And everybody said, why? Well, I met Chip and Sue Parrish, who a lot of people knew that. There are some local realtors that have been around a long time. My father was a custom home builder, because he told me when I was young, this is what I should do. But I mean, I knew more than my father then, apparently.
I won't. That's your business.
And yeah, I got out of the gig, if you would, of restaurants way before you. That was what, 2014?
Yeah, 13 or 14, somewhere in there.
Like right in 13, 14, right?
Yeah.
And did my thing. Built a pretty good business, and I've had a lot of fun. And then,
we talk about this a lot, where people think when you make a big transition like that, they see like the success that happens and assume that maybe you were lucky. They don't see the in-between, right? They don't see the days where you're struggling. They don't see the door knocking. They don't see the times you can't pay your bills. They all of that, right? That kind of middle part. What was that? Like, do you remember what that was like? Because I know I do.
I don't like the word grind, right? Leave beg for a job.
He named it again.
I named it again. Beg for a job at Pies and Pints. That's where I went to work afterwards. And great, Rob Lindemann's team hired me, and love Rob still to this day, the people I work with. Was bartending, 4 or 5 nights a week while earning real estate during the day. So it was, get up, grind during the day, work at night, and that was just wash, rinse, repeat, and going door knocking neighborhoods, and just your door-to-door salesman. So my wife at the time was still at Banana Republic, so we're doing that, hey, you got the kid now, adios, Beckett was born, I'm showing houses, toting a kid around, and it was wild. It was a lot of work, a lot of fun.
What was so fun about it?
Fun is you're growing something, you're building something. It's the process of that, right? It's like training for an Ironman. The completion of like an Ironman is kind of sad because it's the journey to get there, right? So it was fun. I mean, hell, it was bartending. We were at a new restaurant. We were having a lot of fun. I'm selling houses. I mean, one year I did like 50 deals or something while I'm bartending as well. Like, I think the average agent sells like 6 houses, right?
Yeah.
Here I am cruising through almost 50 and still kicking it behind a bar. So I don't like the realtors though that complain about the hours they put in and blah blah blah, because no other industry I feel like does that. I feel like this industry, this career has been phenomenal to me. Mm-hmm. It's been good to you. It's been good to my family. So I'd rather be thankful for it. But
let's get into how we kind of came together after the restaurants, right? So I stayed for a long time. I was running 10 restaurants, wicked stressed out. I hadn't taken a trip for a long time. I hadn't taken a vacation. And then when it was time to take a vacation, I submitted for it actually 6 months prior. And then my boss at the time questioned me on why I was going to take the vacation. And I was like, hey, no problem. If I made a mistake, let me know. I had already rented a house, so I was going to be screwed out of that money. But I said, if it's my problem and I made a mistake, just let me know and I'll fix it. And then they couldn't show me the policy. Yeah. And I remember I was really upset about that. Like they were telling me that I should have known, but there was no policy. And then I went to Florida, we made it happen, and they wanted me to micromanage these people, and I was not willing to do so. And so I went to Florida, and I had, actually my wife, Taylor, she said, you've been awesome. Like you disconnected, I was present. Then the night before I had to go back to work, I was stressed again. And she was like, well, what's wrong? And I said, well, I don't want to go back and do this anymore. I don't want to go report. I don't want to look at the financials. I don't want to do any of that stuff. And so then she was the one that told me that I should quit. So I had to make that move. And then I remember she was like, yeah, maybe you should take some time off for a little bit and just relax. And then what? You told me to come to a team meeting like 3 days after I quit. Then I joined, you had 7 agents.
Remember, go back though. You're going to be a home inspector first.
I was going to be a home inspector first. I forgot, actually.
And also in this, mind you, I will tell you that he was miserable. Why? We have a group thread with a bunch of friends. This son went MIA. Like he just, for lack of a better term, ghosted us.
It's challenging though, and it reminds me, so when I quit, I sat down with the CEO, we talked in his office, and he said to me at that time, I'll never forget it, look around at the people that you work with. They're all amazing people. And I remember like thinking about those people. I had all these people on a pedestal at one point. And then I looked around, he said, none of them are gonna do what you're preparing to do. And there's a reason, and it's because it's super scary and it's risky. But if you fail, and I know you won't, but if you do, you can come right back, you can get your job back, I'll pay you the same money, and you'll pick right back up like you never left off. And I remember I needed that. Like it was like okay, I can do this. Like that was the one thing I was really worried about. I couldn't imagine, we think about this all the time, going back to what we did. And so for people that are in, maybe you're in a position where you feel the same way and you're nervous to make a move, I'm telling you, you should make the move. It doesn't have to be in real estate, but whatever it is, if you have a passion or you have a desire to do something different, you should definitely take the chance. And I'll tell you, it was the first year. I've been a little over 2 years now. I'm about 2.5 years now. Very challenging.
Yeah, I mean,
Very
my first,
challenging.
it took me 3 to get to where you are in almost 2. Like, we've put work in.
Yeah.
Fair to say. Here we are. What's interesting is now, I mean, what do you do as a job? I mean, you just open doors, right?
Well, yeah, I wish.
That's right.
That's
That's
what people think.
That's what people think, right?
That's what people think.
I just open doors. And what's a myth? What's a myth, Yoshi, that people...
A myth about real estate?
Yeah, what's a myth?
Well, I think that's one of them. I think like that you just open doors, and I understand why. We should get into that. Why do people think that?
Because there are realtors who just open doors.
There are people that do that, and it's just like any other industry. It doesn't matter what position you're in or what industry you're in. There are professionals, and then there are people that aren't. For some reason, though, real estate gets compared to car salesmen very similarly. And again, even using car sales, there are great salespeople in car sales. You've had good experiences with people. And then there are some that are just out to take your money. What do you think, Nathan, it is that separates us and others that are like us from those people?
Well, first, I think it's not on me. I don't think it's on you. I think it's on somebody who's wanting to buy a house to go, did you interview people?
Yeah.
Did you actually sit down and ask them a list of questions? Most people, arguably, it's the largest transaction they'll ever be involved in their life.
Yeah.
And they're like, I'll go hire my Aunt Sally who makes a great green Jell-O for Thanksgiving that sold 2 houses in the last 3 years. Mm-hmm. What in the actual? Like, real estate changes all the time. There is no barrier to entry in our industry. You take 100 hours of class and you pass a test. All they teach you in real estate school is to pass the test. They teach you nothing beyond that.
That's what I thought was so crazy too. Because I'm fresher out of that, from taking the school, and the school that you take, the classes that you take, you actually don't even use them. They don't even apply to what's real life.
It's like the Pythagorean theorem.
Yeah, I don't even know what that means.
You were taught, well, you don't remember apparently, but they teach you to pass a test.
Yeah.
And the consumer, you don't ask questions.
Sometimes I think it's because they don't know what questions to ask. It's just one of those things, like the way it's been designed. You go on Zillow or you go on some website and you
click a button.
And you click a button and it connects you with an agent. And what people don't know, and still to this day, I tell people this all the time when I talk to them, is that